Hello, friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind GodUpdates and God2, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
Her cat went missing 13 years ago. Now she's back home to spend her final days. Written by Michaela Gordoni, read by Julie Provost. When Jade Yhnell's cat, Minx, went missing in 2012, she thought she'd never see her again. When the cat came back home 13 years later, Jade couldn't believe it, but her joy was short-lived, as Minx died shortly after. Minx went missing as Jade and her partner were making their move from Bristol, England to Tregar, Wales. They searched and searched, but never found her. Minx was 5 when she went missing. Then one day, a flea-bitten stray was taken to Fishguard Veterinary Services in Pembroke, Wales, where veterinarian Andrew Clements scanned Minx's microchip. "We read the chip as you do, and it came up as that," said Andrew. The owner was a vet's nurse at a practice, and the cat had been missing for years and years. Jade said, "I was overwhelmed, I was speechless, I couldn't stop shaking. I said to my husband, 'They found Minx.' He was quite shocked. She drove 140 miles to Fishguard, and Minx immediately recognized her. She was headbutting me and purring," Jade said. "I was a mess, as you can imagine. She was exactly the same with my husband. She was so excited to see him." They brought Minx home, and she bonded with the couple's kids. But Minx wasn't in good shape. She had an aggressive form of cancer and died at the age of 18, shortly after she was returned home. "She was purring right to the last breath. She was such a wonderful cat," Jade said. "I have nothing but gratitude that we got her back. I feel she came back to us for a reason, so that we could look after her in her final days. She knew how loved she was. She got to meet our babies, and they absolutely adored her." Fishguard Veterinary Services said her final weeks were filled with love, cuddles, and the comfort of being with her family once more. "We are really lucky and fortunate that she had the chip," Jade said. "It is incredible. I'm just glad she came back." Fishguard Veterinary Services shared the story, adding, "If this isn't a reminder to microchip your pets and keep your details up to date, we don't know what is. Isn't this a beautiful story?" The cat was with her owners for 5 years and clearly remembered them well, after not seeing them for 13 years. And what a blessing that the couple's children got to meet the sweet cat before she passed.
At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than money. It's a way to support the people, causes, and community you love. Because helping you put your faith into action is at the heart of what we do. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
Health insurance rates are surging in America, leaving millions without affordable options. But Christians don't need to waste money on a broken system. Christian Healthcare Ministries is an alternative to health insurance at half the cost. With CHM, fellow believers contribute monthly to help pay each other's medical bills while lifting one another in prayer. It's financial and spiritual support when you need it most. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness. A 75-year-old man has been lifeguarding the same New Jersey stretch of beach since 1968. Written by Michaela Gordoni, read by Julie Provost. The 75-year-old lifeguard has been saving lives for most of his life on the same stretch of beach in New Jersey. Joe Bongiovanni has never missed a summer on the Asbury Park shores since he joined after high school in 1968. He saved thousands of lives and prevented the drownings of thousands more. This is Joe's 57th summer as the safety supervisor. He trains and supervises the other lifeguards and works as a regular lifeguard as needed. "I still do it. Someone will call up and say they can't make it, and I will sit in for them, sometimes for an afternoon or even a whole week," Joe said. "I also ride around and pull up behind the lifeguards and make sure they are watching the water and not their phones." Joe does an hour of cardio every day to keep in shape. "I was very fortunate when I started here. We had a lot of good lifeguards who taught me a lot," Joe said. "They were old school. That was the way you learned. There was no official training program. You picked it up from them." After his first summer, he attended college and got a degree in physical education. His first job after college was as a physical education teacher at Neptune High School. His teaching schedule allowed him to work at the beach in the summer, and he spent 38 years at that high school before he retired. "I don't know how many rescues I've had. I used to keep track, but it became kind of routine," he said. "We didn't have radios to communicate or paddleboards.
We had to communicate by whistles, 3 or 4 lifeguards on a bench, and you would give 3 blasts on a whistle to send help. Now you get a radio and help is in 2 minutes. Most beaches have motorized ATVs to get around. People usually think a lifeguard's job is to just save people when they're drowning. Preventing drownings is a critical part of it. We may have 300 rescues each summer, but we probably prevent 3,000 of them, Joe said. The hardest thing a lifeguard has to do is watch the water and be disciplined to watch the water. We like to be preventive and proactive. You see that rip starting to form? You get on the whistle and move the people in. Lifeguarding is 90% prevention. We don't want to make a million rescues. We want to keep people out of trouble, he said. Joe is proud that he's never had to use CPR, and he's never lost a swimmer who was at the beach during regular hours. He admits lifeguarding certainly has its scary times. In 1971, right after July 4th, over 20 people were pulled under in a riptide. One lifeguard had 4 or 5 people, another had a couple of people, and I was cross-chesting people into the beach. Joe remembered. We must have pulled out more than 20 people between the 4 of us. We've had a few of those. People who swim after hours don't have lifeguard protection. I've had to pull 2 bodies out of the ocean, he said. They were after hours drowning. After we had left the beach, people who had gone in the water. It is something you never forget, and it's a very morbid thing. Another time, a woman ignored a sign and swam where she wasn't supposed to. One lady dove in the water off the jetty by the side of Convention Hall. Ignoring a sign and a rip current pulled her out, said Joe. The waves are crashing into the jetty, a 10-foot surf, and she was flailing around, and I responded. She didn't have a single scratch when he eventually got to her. Most of his memories at the beach are positive. You had rock shows in Convention Hall, and pretty much everyone played there except the Beatles, Joe said. The Rolling Stones, Sonny and Cher, everybody came there. The Four Seasons were there every year, and the Doors. The beach has changed a lot since Joe first joined. People were a lot more respectful of rules than they are today. Like everything, Joe said. They would listen to instructions. When you blow the whistle and tell people to move in or move down, they would obey the instructions. You get a little more kickback now. More people think the rules are not for them. These young men and women are putting their lives on the line, so you can come to the beach and understand lifeguard directions, he shared. A lot of people ignore lifeguard instructions. Most of them are young kids, and they're putting their lives at risk to save people. It's important to respect and obey them. Asbury Park gets about 8 million visitors each year, and those who get in the water need protection. Joe's dedication to lifeguarding shows how important his job is. The 75-year-old is one dedicated individual, and he's creating an incredible legacy.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than money. It's a way to support the people, causes, and community you love. Because helping you put your faith into action is at the heart of what we do. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.